Happy New Year, everybody! From your boy Rudy Rodriguez Showmont right here at Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I hope you all had a beautiful New Year's Eve. I know I did. I know you did. I am still recovering from last night, which is why I never did a recap on YouTube. I'm I didn't have it in me last night. I was on live for 4.5 hours doing the game. I did some short recaps on Instagram, and I slept a lot today. I woke up about 1 o'clock, and I watched the debacle with Texas Tech and Oregon, then watched the debacle with Alabama and Indiana, and now I'm watching Ole Miss and Georgia. Ole Miss up 3-0 right now. But man, we're gonna play the winner of this game behind me. But wow, what a win by the Miami Hurricanes yesterday in the Cotton Bowl, 24-14 winners over Ohio State and ending the reign of the defending national champions. Miami Hurricanes will play the winner of Ole Miss and Georgia at the Fiesta Bowl on January the 8th in Arizona. And can't wait for it, man. Miami Hurricanes did everything that they needed to do yesterday. They jumped out early. They set the tone with the running game. Made a huge play defensively. Keontae Scott with a humongous pick six. It was right after Julian Saint had hit Jeremiah Smith with a 55-yard pass down the field. And a play later, Ruben Bain gets a sack. I believe it was Ruben Bain gets a sack. And then the next play was that pick six that Keontae Scott read perfectly to make it 14-0. Miami jumps out 7-0 with a touchdown pass to Mark Fletcher on a nice play action fake. And Miami was in prime position, honestly, early on to put the game away. I mean, there was an opportunity for the Miami Hurricanes to blow that game open before halftime. They had the chance. There was a play where Carson Beck had gotten a first down, thought it was clear as day that he got the first down, and then they reviewed it and reversed it. And that forced Miami to punt, which was ridiculous because I thought it was a clear first down. Then there was another chance where the Canes had the ball down at the 30-yard line or so of Ohio State with a chance to at least kick a field goal, and instead end up taking a 4-yard loss. I believe it was on a Malachi Tony end around. And then Carson Beck gets sacked, and then Miami throws the ball downfield. And I believe it was Keelan Marion or it was CJ, one of the two. I think it was Keelan Marion. And he's being literally bear hugged by the Ohio State DB. He was being bear hugged, and they didn't call a PI. I mean, there was two of those in this game where Miami receivers were completely bear hugged by Ohio State cornerbacks that went uncalled. Clear first downs, you know. But so Miami leads 14-0 going into the break rather than 17-0 or even 21-0 because there were opportunities for the Canes to put it away. They let them stick around. The last drive right before the half, they got good movement down the field, and they get into field goal range where their kicker misses a 50-yard field goal. It was never close to going in. Missed it off of his foot. It was like, you know how you miss a kick and maybe it drifts. No, this thing was no good from the moment it hit his foot. So Miami does lead 14-0, but Ohio State gets the ball start the second half, and they made some adjustments, man. I did talk about some of the keys to the game. And one of the keys I thought we would hold Jeremiah Smith to under 100 yards. Well, that did not happen. Jeremiah Smith was an absolute demon out there. He goes for 7 catches, 157 yards, a touchdown. Quite frankly, if it wasn't for Jeremiah Smith, this game would have been a rout. That just tells you how good that dude really is because he was their offense. He was their offense. Without Jeremiah Smith, Ohio State that's a blowout. I mean, that game would have gotten really, really ugly if it wasn't for Jeremiah Smith. And he stepped up big time. He made some big plays. I mean, I talked about the back shoulder throw. He hit that back shoulder throw. Julian Saint throws a great back shoulder throw to Jeremiah Smith. Hit it in this game. Hit us deep at one time. Is for a slant for a touchdown on a blitz. There were some things that Miami did that I didn't really like early on, and I wasn't going to talk about it too much in the recap last night because I was just happy, man. I'm still just happy. But when Miami coming out of at the end, the last drive of the half, Ohio State gets 4 yards, and it's 2nd and 6. And Mario Cristobal decides to call timeout, and Ohio State only had one timeout left, and they weren't calling it there. And I thought it was a major mistake to call timeout. I know I'm on him about the timeout usage, but I think there's times where you use it and times where you don't. And when you see a team like Ohio State seemingly ready to pack it in, which is what they were doing, they were packing it in for the half. That first down play that got only 4 yards, they weren't calling timeout, and Miami decided to call timeout, and therefore that ended up turning into a big headache because they started completing passes, getting out of bounds, and what could have been like 10 seconds when they're at midfield ends up being that they have the ball with an opportunity to score and get some points. Now they did miss the field goal as it is, but that was something to be said in terms of helping develop some momentum for them. Now I will tell you this, Ryan Day made some adjustments at halftime and they started to run the football. They ran the football pretty effectively in the second half, the first two drives. First half, Miami was dominant on the ground. I mean, they had negative 3 yards rushing. Now you have to remember sacks play into the numbers for rushing yards. So when you include the sacks, that's why they had negative 3 yards rushing. But in the second half, they really started to run the football. Now they finished the game 24 carries for 45 yards, but CJ Donaldson and Bo Jackson hit some chunk plays, and that got their passing game going too. It is what opened up the passing game for Ohio State. And yo, man, they got it down to 14-7 on the first drive. They went down the field, but what they also did was they ate up a lot of clock. And when you have a game like this in which you have limited possessions, when you eat up clock like that, you have to be 100% efficient. And when you have two teams that are like Miami and Ohio State, who actually play very similar ball in terms of offensive scheme, and what I mean by that is their offensive scheme, quite frankly, they are slow down teams. They're not looking to push tempo. They are a slow down, methodical offense, and they're not, they might throw it deep, to Jeremiah Smith and stuff like that, but more often than not, they're in that mid range passing game and short to mid range passing game. And when they finally ran the football, now they're eating clock up because Miami had the ball for 20 minutes in the first half to 10 minutes for Ohio State. And Ohio State gets the ball for about the first 7 minutes. Now, Miami comes up big, man. They respond to that touchdown, drive down the field, kick a field goal. Carter Davis hits a 49-yard field goal, which makes it 17-7 with what 3 minutes or so to go. 3:01 to go in the third, and you've eaten up the entire third quarter on two possessions. Now they get the ball back and they take the ball and they march it down the field again, 10 plays and 75 yards. And again, they ran the ball. They did hit passes, obviously. They got first downs on passes, but a lot of that stuff came from the run. It was created by the run. I mean, example, you get 4 yards out of Donaldson, then a 2 yard run, then a 6 yard run. I mean, they ran the ball and it created more for the passing attack. And I thought Miami also kind of let back a little bit and kind of took away. We weren't as aggressive, which I think is always very dangerous because if you lose that aggression defensively, because you're not trying to get beat deep, but at the same time, you can't let them chunk you down the field, right? But again, another drive that took a lot of time. This drive took 4.5 minutes, and Miami gets the ball back with 13:28 to go in the game, up 17-14, and sitting here saying, "Yo, we gotta score again," but that doesn't happen. We throw the ball. Um, we throw it deep to CJ Daniels again, trying to understand what goes into pass interference. You'd have to explain it to me because that was a clear pass interference on CJ Daniels. Sanchez completely grabbed CJ Daniels, and that should have been a PI. They don't call it. Carson Beck hits a big 3rd down and 11 run to keep the drive going. At the very least, it didn't allow it to be a 3 and out, which if it was a 3 and out, you're punting it right back. Even with this, you're able to run off 3 minutes of clock and kind of switch the field a little bit. Now, this was the series of the game right here. Ohio State has the ball at the 25-yard line, and I don't think there's a person around that wasn't nervous, that wasn't worried, because we saw what was happening and we needed to stop and we needed it badly. And we got just that. We got just that, but they also went away from running the football. It was interesting. They went immediately a short pass to the tight end Kasmerick, and also Ohio State went to that double tight end formation, which seemed like Miami had a little trouble with, in getting accustomed to. Carnell Tate was rather ineffective for Ohio State. I kept wondering why people kept on comparing him and Jeremiah Smith like it's a 1A, 1B tandem when it's really not. It's a 1A, it's a 1 and a 2, because like Jeremiah Smith is here and Carnell Tate is like here. I don't care where Carnell Tate's being drafted. Looks like Georgia just scored. Yeah, looks like Georgia just scored to take a 6-6 now, actually. They're about to go up 7-6. Um, but yeah, you got these comparisons, and realistically, Carnell Tate was rather ineffective in this game. So you have a run, and then you have this sack where Wesley Bissainthe just runs over Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson tries to take him on in the middle, and Bissainthe just flat out runs him over right into Julian Say and takes him down for a 9-yard sack. And it's 3rd and 15. But they hit a 16-yard pass on the next play to Jeremiah Smith as our defense is sagging for whatever reason, and he hits a wide open. He hits him right in the zone. But then again, they went back to throwing again. They throw it deep to Carnell Tate. It's not even close. Next play, they get a 10-yard holding penalty. Ruben Bain dips his shoulder in. Whether he got held or not, it looked like he got held a little bit. It looked like he also just created the appearance of looking like he got held because he gets so low to the ground. But he draws that penalty, and that was a monster penalty because that turns it into 2nd and 20, and now the running game is completely gone. They throw it again on 2nd and 20, incomplete to Tate, and then on 3rd down, the defense just goes, rears back, bro. 3rd and 20, and you stop them for a negative 2-yard pass. Then it gets then you even have to go on the next play on top of that. They have to punt, but they get a great punt. They put the punt back down to the Miami 10-yard line. But they commit a illegal formation, and now they have to repunt the ball. And instead of Miami getting the ball at the 10, Miami ends up getting the ball at the 30. Huge difference. Huge difference. And at that point, you're sitting here saying, there's 5:56 to go in the game. Is Miami going to show you who Miami has been all year? This is the team that Mario Cristobal has wanted to be. He's wanted to be that punch you in the face, go behind the big uglies, and run people over. And that's exactly what happened. Miami took that ball and gashed Ohio State, starting off with a 19-yard run off the left for Mark Fletcher. Gets us pretty much to midfield, then a 4-yard run from Fletcher, a 3-yard run by Beck. I love what Beck did. Beck took whatever was given to him. I still want to see him throw the ball down the field a bit, even mid-range passes, but he took whatever was given to him in this game. He had the checkdowns. He had he took what was given to him. He hit some nice passes downfield to Keelan Marion, to there was a couple to Keelan Marion, actually, I believe it was CJ Daniels. He gets some nice passes. And on 3rd down and 3, they take out Mark Fletcher, put in Marty Brown, and Marty Brown catches the ball out the backfield for a 1st down, gives Miami the first of the 44-yard line of Ohio State. Then Marty Brown goes for 13. Now, see, I was surprised that Marty Brown got in the game, and I don't know if Mark Fletcher got hurt, if he got dinged, or what, because it's a little bit odd that Fletcher's running over these dudes, and now you're going to take him out. So I don't know if he got dinged or if maybe Fletcher said he was tired, and you got fresher legs in there with Marty Brown. Pringle did play earlier in the game, but we were going big at this point. We were going heavy at this point. And he gets that 13-yard run, then gets a short 1-yard gain. Then he gets a 5-yard gain, and that's 3rd down and 4. And that's the play of the game right there. You have Miami at the Ohio State 20. We're down to under 2 minutes to go in the game. We've run that clock all the way down. And now you're talking about punch these guys out, punch them out. And they hit a perfect screen pass where Brockermeyer and Maui Noah Goa. How do you pronounce his name, please? How CC Maui Goa. It's spelled Maui Goa. I mean, I don't know. Y'all gotta tell me because I have lost. I don't even know anymore. And they both hit blocks. And it wasn't, if not for a shoestring tackle, CJ Daniels would have scored. But now you're making these guys burn their timeouts, and Miami gets a 2-yard run. And then Ohio State doesn't call timeout because they only had one timeout left, or two timeouts, one or two timeouts left, but I think it was one timeout left. And Marty Brown goes up the middle for 5 to give us a touchdown, make it 24-14, and there's your ball game. You get touched interception from Jacoby Thomas to end the game. Miami ran the ball for over 150 yards. Miami had a big boy drive, man. That was a big boy man up drive. Old school football, knock you in the mouth. You've got the number one defense in the country, and we ran the ball down your effing throats. Like, you can call it what you want. The Miami Hurricanes took the number one off defense in America and ran it down their throats when the game was on the line. Ohio State could not make a stop with the game on the line. Fletcher runs for 90 yards. Beck throws for 138, 19 and 26. Julian Sang goes 22 of 35 for 287. He throws 2 picks. The pick 6. Akeem Mesdor has 2 sacks. Ruben Bain is a man-child back there. Defensive line had Julian Saint under duress the entire game, as expected. As expected. I mean, they had him running for his life. And you couldn't have asked for a better situation. You couldn't have asked for a better performance. Could Miami have scored some more points? Sure. But they got the job done. That drive to end the game, that is a big man drive. And now there's no doubt. If you can run the ball down Ohio State's throat to end the game, you can run the ball down anybody's throat. I mean, you have to be real. You've got to be real. If you can run the ball down Ohio State's throat like that, you can absolutely run the ball down anybody's throat when the game is on the line. Ohio State's giving up 28.3 points per game. Miami scores 24 points. Yes, 7 were on defense, but 17 on offense. That's the most points that they gave up all season. You know, they had coming in, well, right now they're down to they're sixth in rushing defense. But that's also because Miami just put up 153 on them. And Miami's fifth? I'm sorry, they're seventh. And Miami's fifth in rushing defense. So Miami's going to see potentially Georgia in the next round. And if Miami sees Georgia, that's the 4th best rush defense. And then they could potentially see Indiana in the national championship. That's the 3rd best rush defense. Guess what? Miami can run the ball on anybody, period. You get behind the big uglies. And as Mario Cristobal told Nick Saban today, mass kicks ass. That's what it is, man. When you got big monsters like that, they gave Carson Beck time to throw. He played great. Miami's D-line, defensive players were all over Julian Saint. If it wasn't for Jeremiah Smith, this game is a blowout. You know, he played, man, but that was it. Now, I will say, end of the game, he doesn't make himself available for interviews. I don't like that. If you're going to talk before a game, you should talk after the game. And that's the same thing for the defensive tackle that talked before the game. Talk before the game. You should be able to talk after the game. Now, he did say he did dap everybody up from Miami, and I tell you what, it would be absolutely petrifying if that guy decided, and I'm not saying he's gonna, but it would be petrifying if that guy decided, you know what, I want to play my last college football season in Miami. And could you blame him? Could you blame him? I mean, think about really right now. If you look at the team right now, just right now, if they were to play with him, if they had him on their team right now, if we had Jeremiah Smith right now, Miami would win the national championship so damn easily, it'd be ridiculous. I mean, Malachi Tony got pretty much shut down in this game. He didn't do very much. You know, you got to be on. I mean, they really keyed up on him. CJ Daniels made some plays. He had 5 catches to lead the receivers. And you can see early on, Carson Beck was making a point to go to other guys. Tony finished with 5 catches, but only for 16 yards. He had a carry for 4. He had 1 punt return. I mean, but he did catch the punts. He didn't. He lined up at quarterback one time and ran the Malley Cat, the Wildcat offense. I think he ran it one time. We didn't do a lot of trickeration stuff. No need. Helmet on helmet, man. Helmet on helmet. When you look at the DBs for you look at the DB play for Ohio State, and you see that their two leading tacklers are their defensive backs. It tells you they're tackling guys down the field, and those guys are having to move into the box to stop people, on the run. So this was dominant, man. Now we did suffer a couple of injuries. We don't know what the status is yet of Ahmad Moten. Ahmad Moten is a guy that we can't afford to not have for whoever we play at the Fiesta Bowl. By the way, Ole Miss just scored, so I guess it's 10, about to be 13-7. But yeah, you've got to get that guy back. OJ Frederico looked like he went out with a cramp. I thought he went over the. Now there were people that said the Ahmad Moten play was dirty. It wasn't a chop block. Like, see, I think there's a couple things that people. It wasn't a chop block. Now, maybe if a referee wants to tell me differently, my understanding of a chop block is illegal chop block is that someone engages you up top and the other guy dives underneath him. The guy that he got shoved over was on the ground already. It wasn't like he dove underneath him. He had been blocking someone, ended up on the ground. So it wasn't like he got, cut or anything like that. They're going for 2, I guess. Why? It's the second quarter. Why are you going for 2? So it's 12-7, Ole Miss. But yeah, it didn't make it wasn't it I don't want to call it dirty. I don't want to say that was dirty because I don't think that wasn't what you typically see, what you call an illegal chop block. So maybe I'm wrong. If someone can correct me as a referee, let me know. But it wasn't what I know the illegal chop block to be. Like a guy falls down and you end up falling over him. I mean, that's not the same thing as literally diving in someone's leg. So, but we do need him back. Would love to have Damari Brown back. I'm hoping he can play. You know, but overall, what a performance by the Miami Hurricanes. They didn't talk. They showed up. They balled out. And they showed that they belong. They showed that they are the team. And right now, it'd be hard pressed to me, in my opinion, to. What was shocking was that I saw that if Miami played Georgia, they said that Georgia would open up as a 3.5 point favorite. I'm like, okay. And if Miami played Ole Miss, Miami would open up as a 1.5 point favorite. I'm like, so Ole Miss beats Georgia and is the underdog, but Georgia beats Ole Miss another thing. I mean, make that make sense. Like, make that make sense. Miami was just a double-digit dog, and by the way, that number creeped down to -7, -7.5 as the game got closer because money came in on Miami. But yo, what a game, man! I mean, my voice, I'm tired still, bro. Like, I'm dead ass tired still. Obviously intoxicated from last night. Just being honest, can't help it. I'm recovering, man. So that's all we got for this one, man. We're gonna have videos throughout the week. I figured I was gonna put up some of the press conference stuff, but I'm still tired. I have to do it tomorrow. I'm gonna have to do it tomorrow because I am worn out. But yo, man, what a win, man. What a win. And for everyone who jumped on board on the live, man, I thank y'all so very much. I'd love to go to Arizona, but yo, they put this game on a Thursday, yo. Come on. Not to mention, my son has a basketball tournament on Saturday. So it really is going to cut it tight for me. So I'm probably going to be right here again doing a live broadcast. But I can tell you this, if we're in the national championship, which was where I expect us to be, I will be at that game. So that's all I got for this one, folks, man. I appreciate y'all jumping on board. I thank y'all. And as always, man, get all your hurricane content right here. Like, subscribe, follow, share our videos, man. Appreciate y'all. These hats are still available. I'm gonna keep the code going through until this season is over. Hurricanes 25. Go to our merch site, hurricanesunfiltered.com. Go to the merch, get your hats, your Scullies, your t-shirts, all that good stuff. Grab your merch, 25% off. Hurricanes 25, capital H, capital H-U-U, capital all letters, capital all letters, 25 for Hurricanes 25, 25% off your entire order. And by the way, before we go, my bad. I got to give a shout out to the sponsor of our show, Natalie Lopez, attorney at law. When life hits hard, the law firm of Natalie Lopez hits back harder. She practices in the areas of criminal defense and family law. You can reach her at 954-888-8833. That's 954-888-8833. Or at her Instagram at nat.guilty. That's nat.guilty, nat.guilty. She's based out of Fort Lauderdale. She is here to fight for you. Thank you, Natalie. Happy New Year. Appreciate everyone. We broke 13,000 subs before the new year. I thank you. I appreciate you. Let's keep pushing this bad boy forward. God bless. Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Let's go, Canes.